2019 Subaru Forester officially revealed at the 2018 New York International Auto Show. The fifth-generation Subaru SUV will come in standard, premium, limited, and touring trims, along with a new sport trim. The manufacturer claims that this new addition to the SUV family is based on the company's latest global platform, SGP. All-new Subaru Forester is powered by 2.5-liter four-cylinder boxer engine, which is 90% new, compared to the previous 2.5-liter unit. The plant makes 182 horsepower and 176 pounds-ft of torque, supported by the standard Lean-Artronic code. Subaru comes with Driver Focus, which is a monitoring system that uses facial recognition software to recognize signs of fatigue or distraction. The system can also identify up to 5 drivers and their presets for seat position, infotainment, and climate. Besides, the car also packs features such as adaptive cruise control, sway warning, collision throttle management, LED vehicle start alert, automatic pre-collision braking, lane departure, and lane keep assist. Additional features are blind spot detection, rear cross traffic alert, reverse automatic braking, and lane change assist. The higher trim packages have steering responsive headlights, trailer stability assist, and high beam assist. You will find non-safety techs such as Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth capability, phone connectivity, audio streaming, and Sirius XM. There are a built-in and voice-activated navigation system and 8-inch, high-resolution touchscreen. The car is available in 3 colors: Jasper Green Metallic, Horizon Blue Pearl, and Crimson Red Pearl. The all-new Subaru Forester will go on sale in the US later this year, and it is expected to be available for European buyers before the end of 2018.
Depending on where you live, one of the biggest challenges with electric cars can be airport runs. They tend to be an hour away, or sometimes more. Involve lots of rain-sucking highway driving, often in the wee, dark hours of the morning or pitch-dark night. Many don't offer chargers, and the car may sit for a day or several while you're away. Then when you get back, range anxiety is the last thing you want when you're trying to get home. So when we had a chance to drive a new 2018 Nissan Leaf on a week that involved flying out for the weekend, it seemed a perfect opportunity to put the Leaf to the test. Our test car was a Scarlet Ember Red 2018 Leaf SL, with the technology package, which includes Nissan's new Pro Pilot Assist feature, which promises nearly full self-driving on the highway. Its full sticker came in at $38,510. We needed to make a trip out of town for 2 days, flying out of tiny Westchester Airport outside New York City. It's only 37 miles from home by major highways, which seemed like it should pose no challenge for the Leaf's rated 151-mile range driving back and forth, with plenty of extra to account for the few miles it might lose sitting over the weekend. It was also clear, though, that to catch a 6 a.m. flight, driving on the highway in the dark after a night that had dipped below freezing, I would use more than the 37 miles of range that we'd actually be driving. So headed off, a little after 4 in the morning, about 20 minutes after we'd planned. To make up for lost time, of course, we set the cruise control on the dark highway to just shy of 80 mph, bearing in mind that with a trip home 2 days later, we'd have to watch the mileage to make sure we didn't burn through more than half, to leave some margin for the trip home, especially considering that the trip to the airport is mostly downhill hills we'd need to go back up to get home. This shouldn't have been a problem. The cruise control button on the Leaf is labeled with blue, offset concentric circles, using Nissan's Pro Pilot Assist logo. Turning it on automatically activates the full suite of Pro Pilot Assist functions, dynamic cruise control and lane guidance. Forward collision warning with automatic emergency braking is always on. You can deactivate the steering assistance using another button low on the left side of the dashboard. As you drive, you can feel the system tugging at the wheel as you try to keep the car centered in the lane, but ProPilot Assist does a better job than most at keeping the car between the lines without weaving down the lane like a bowling ball between kiddie bumpers. If you keep too light a touch on the steering wheel, though, it will trigger an alert and eventually shut off the steering assist, thinking your hands aren't on the wheel. It's interpretation that you aren't paying attention. We found it overly worrisome, nagging us like an overbearing nanny, and eventually turning its back. When you change lanes using the turn signals, the auto steering stands down and lets you move. Strangely, the car beeps when the system picks up the new lane lines and re-engages. It would make more sense to us if it beeped to let you know it when exceeded control. The steering itself did deliver better feedback and weight than the original Leafs did, though, and we enjoyed diving into corners and feeling the car grip as the battery weight kept it comparatively level. When we left home, with a full charge, the car showed 138 miles of range, so budgeting for the trip home, we kept an eye out for when the car approached about 75 miles of range, to leave a little margin. Very little, as it turned out. At the exit before we needed to get off the highway for the airport, the car showed 78 miles of range. It's another 6 miles to the exit, so we slowed down and shut off the heat, not wanting to hit that magic halfway mark on the battery and get stranded a few miles from home on the way back. In the airport parking lot, it showed 72 miles, and with no electric car chargers at the airport, we worried all weekend about the uphill slope on the way back. In the end, we needn't have worried. Alternate back roads to and from the airport are scenic and relaxing, and much less draining on the battery. The evening was warmer too, and we didn't need the heater on the way home. We took the highway about halfway home, to reach the most scenic back roads and set the ProPilot Assist to just short of 70 mph for big energy savings. Reaching home, the car showed 53 miles left on the battery, about what we expected before we left. It returned a not-so-good 2.9 miles per kilowatt efficiency for the trip. Two morals stand out from this story, though. If you're driving an electric car, leave plenty of time so you don't have to rush and burn range unnecessarily. And don't worry so much whether electric cars can do what you need to do. It's usually pretty obvious ahead of time when they can't.
The recent unveiling of the fifth-generation Subaru Forester at the New York Motor Show raised a question perhaps as important as those it answered, specifically, why no turbocharged flat 4? It's hard to overlook the enthusiast's point of view. How many fourth-gen Forester XT owners will be willing to trade their 2.0-liter 177 kilowatts per 350 Nm turbo SUVs and settle for a new model that's at least 50 kilograms heavier and produces 136 kilowatts and 239 Nm? Not forgetting the new Forester's FA25 direct-injection 2.5-liter flat 4 makes its peak torque figure at a relatively picky 4,400 RPMs, way higher than where the old turbo engine generates peak twist. Subaru pretty much pioneered the performance SUV genre with the Forester GT back in the late 90s and has not deviated significantly from the strategy until now. Putting aside the disappointment of enthusiast customers for a second, we need to question how Subaru is going to meet tougher consumption and emission regulations in the form of Euro-7 compliance due in 2021 with an Atmo engine in a circa 1,600 kilograms SUV. We don't yet have an official consumption figure for the fifth-gen car that's due in Australia in September. But even if it improves slightly on the current number of 8.1 L/100 kilometers, that's unlikely to cut it in the face of tougher CO2 legislation, even with the addition of a plug-in hybrid joining the lineup sometime in 2019. We'll sat with Mr. Tomoyuki Nunome, project manager of the fifth-gen Forester, along with a Mr. Torlowicki who led design, at the New York Motor Show and asked why the new 2.4-liter turbo petrol flat 4, as fitted to the U.S. market 7-seater Ascent SUV, was not part of the lineup for the new model. The response, through an interpreter, was that the Atmo 2.5-liter was deemed entirely appropriate for both the performance parameters and the target market. The turbo engine, we were told, was not necessary. When pushed about tighter emission standards, and the need to reinvigorate a model during the course of its life, Mr. Nunome simply declined to comment on future product plans. The takeout from this? It would seem that perhaps reasons of hierarchy are why the new turbocharged 2.4-liter engine, which makes 194 kilowatts and 376 Newton-meters in the Subaru Ascent, is being reserved for the large SUV. Will a lower boost version, tuned for even sharper economy, make it under the bonnet of the new Forester sometime after the plug-in hybrid is launched? We think so. And we hope so.